It's Father's Day, brother, and you know what that means. It's time to talk grip. Alan and I are going to start covering what we've missed the last couple weeks in the biggest game of catch-up ever, and we've only got 30 minutes to do it because the party's going to get crashed by a special guest. Here's an excerpt from the bio this person sent in. You tell me if you can guess who it is. I'm a 25-year-old from Dallas, Texas, and work as a night shift respiratory therapist at a hospital. While I'm pretty new to the world of grip, I'm not new to training grip or to competition. I've been a competitive rock climber for 12 years. At Bouldering Nationals 2010, I got second place in my age category, 18 to 19 years old. After high school, I bought an old Chevy Express, threw all my climbing gear in it, and hit the road for 5 months to travel, live out of my van, and climb at the best destinations in the USA. I still climb a fair amount, but I'm letting off the gas for a bit to focus on grip sport for a while. We're going to find out who this guy is later on in this episode of This Week in Grip. Everybody, happy Father's Day. This is Jed, and I got Alan on the line. Alan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing real good, Jed. How you doing?
Awesome, my man. Did you have a nice Father's Day celebration? Did you get any cool gifts?
Got a homemade card for my daughter. That was nice, and that was about the extent of it. How about you?
Oh, yes. I was gifted with a whole bunch of fireworks that JC wants me to light off later. So I'm not sure if I actually got any presents or not. I think it was actually JC that got them somehow, which just shows, once again, a little twist in how smart she is because she was able to turn the whole holiday back around on herself. So I guess I'm proud of her for that. And I've got enough stuff anyway. So and I like fireworks, so it'll be cool. She also got us those snappers that you like throw at people and make them like step on them, and then it makes them piss their pants out of fear. So
those are great.
yeah, man, for sure. Hey, everybody, keep using the hashtag This Week in Grip. I see that we're definitely well over 220. It's been a while since I looked, but you're doing a great job on that. I know I'm seeing it on lots of different posts. You're doing awesome. If you could give the video a like, hit the thumbs up, and the reason why. It's not because I like to see the thumbs up. It's because YouTube likes to see it, and it will help us spread the word about this sport, this enthusiasm that we have, and get it going in front of more people. And plus, it just helps us spread the word. Because remember, the first rule in grip sport is you tell everyone about grip sport. Alan, what would you like to start off today, man? We've got a lot of stuff to cover, I know. What's the first thing you'd like to talk about with our little backlog that we have going on?
Well, I just wanted to mention, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've got the most recent edition of Milo, the June 17 edition, volume 25, number 1. Do you get that at all?
I get the Milo. I even packed it in the car so that Paul Knight could check it out and read it if he got bored while I was driving and listening to Queen and Huey Lewis in the news. So
sure.
It is opened, but I haven't looked at it. So what do you see in there, buddy?
Oh, I just wanted to mention that you're in it this time around, page 31.
Cool.
Gave you credit for your initial COC4 Silver Bullet world record. So
that's cool. That's cool.
Yep. I know some of their updates are a little lax on what's already happened, but cool nonetheless. It covered a few other ones, so just wanted to put that out there in case anybody else hadn't seen it. So
awesome.
Yep. And in some other Iron Mine news, one thing recently, I know Don Cummings just submitted a red nail cert attempt. Looked like a good bend to me. So we'll see what Iron Mine has to say. And that's about it from them. Otherwise, yeah, like you said, we've got a ton of stuff that's taken place in the last couple of weeks, and it's hard to say exactly where to begin on these. The feats are kind of starting to pile up a little bit here.
I know, it's true. Well, there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of good things, and, with the advent of Instagram, I think people are just much more comfortable with putting out videos, it seems. I would say there's a lot more people putting out videos now on, like, the social networks, like Instagram, maybe Snapchat. I don't do Snapchat, but, Facebook and things like that. More so going on there than on YouTube, I would say.
Right. Yeah, yep. Nice, shorter little ones, so it seems like they're getting a lot more attention that way. Yep.
Yeah. Now, one thing I did see on YouTube that is pretty cool is David Horn just started doing a Q&A series here recently. The first one was on steel bending. He actually put up a post on Facebook asking for topics, and there were quite a few about steel bending. So I didn't watch the video yet, but I know he covered a bunch of them. So if you're into steel bending and you'd like to hear about somebody who's been doing it longer than just about all of us, you should certainly check that out.
Yeah, I caught that he was going to be starting to do that too. I also didn't get a chance to see the video, but it looked like I think he'll get a fair amount of questions. So that should be a good one for people to add to their list. That's for sure.
Yeah, and have you seen any more from Joe Musselwhite since we talked about it maybe 2-3 weeks ago?
Actually, I haven't. No, and some of that, maybe he hasn't put anything out there. I guess I'm not totally sure, but some of my YouTube updates I don't always get the notifications that I should. I seem to only get them for certain people and not all the ones that I necessarily subscribe to. So it could be a little bit of that. But
well, you know what? There are a lot of changes going on YouTube, Alan. And I hear a lot of people talking about them. I think across the board, views are down. Ad revenue's down, things like that. There's a lot of discussion about that on some of the things that I watch, and you may have to actually go in if you feel you are subscribed to certain YouTubers and you're not getting the notifications. You may actually have to go in and literally not just sign up for notifications again, but you may have been unsubscribed from them due to whatever is going on with YouTube. So that might be something to look at. And, please, everybody, if you're subscribed to my channel, make sure that you go in and just verify that you're still subscribed, because those kinds of changes are totally out of my hands. But I hear a lot of people across YouTube talking about these, people being automatically unsubscribed, even people that channels that people watch on a regular basis, and then they go in, they're wondering why they're not getting the notifications and they've been unsubscribed. So make sure you check that out. Another thing, and I know this is eating up time, but it's a long time ago, probably at least a couple months ago, I talked about how you could go into YouTube and view your history in order to, if you're not able to completely an episode of This Week in Grip, you can go into your history and then start at the spot pretty much where you left off the last time. And that is different now on your phone. And what you need to do now, instead of clicking on like the icon in the upper right-hand corner, there's actually an icon in the bottom right-hand corner now that says Library. And you have to click on Library. It takes you to a new screen, and up towards the top, it will say History. So that's how it is on my phone. I believe it's probably going to be how it is on everybody's phone, but who knows? Maybe there's differences between, I have a Samsung, so if you have an iPhone, it may be a little bit different. But, check that out, because it is a lot more efficient to be able to start off where you stopped the last time. So I encourage you to check that out. And then the next thing, since we talked about David, we had a Steel Shredder 2 update. Back, when was this? I would say this is at least a week ago, maybe 2. And I see that in the open class, Delmar Carter is currently in first place with 5 65mm oval nails snapped in 4 minutes and 28 seconds. Simon Stewart's right on his tail with 4 minutes and 40 seconds. But thumbs up to Delmar for being in first place. and then Simon is from Denmark. In the women's class, Elizabeth is all by herself there, 5 65-millimeter ovals in 13 minutes and 2 seconds. And I see that Erin Cummings is back at it again in the junior class with 3 65-millimeter by 2-millimeter wire nails snapped in 16 minutes and 20 seconds. And then also there was a rule change. So if you're planning on doing this contest, guys and gals, make sure that you review the rules changes because, as David says, and I quote, I'm going wraps lengthwise method of snapping the short nails is banned now. This is due to it altering the event too much. It's meant to be a test of hands, fingers and thumbs, but has now become a test of the wrap and leverage. Leverage is a massive factor here, and I didn't really see it happening to start with. So make sure that you review the video, guys, so that you're doing it right, because I'd hate to hear about people putting in such effort to snap these bars in half and then get disqualified due to an infraction. So, and there you go. Alan, what do you got next, dude?
Well, so where's Becca Roberts been on some of these nail snapping type of things? She seems to dominate everything else. This would be a good one for her to jump into. She's clearly got the strength. We're seeing some monstrous axle pulls. We're seeing some CO3 silver bullets, some number 2 table nose sets.
Yeah,
she kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Great, yeah. And I think what it is right now, they're locked in right now on the what is it? The European. Is it maybe the Britain's Strongest Woman or something like that competition? They're really locked in on that on the strong woman side. And then, because I asked her about it, and she said that she has bent before, but, not real seriously. And, her coach, Paul, is being real strict with what she works on, so she hasn't jumped into that yet. So we have to wait until after this current training cycle in order to see what she's capable of there. Just because, it does take a lot of technique. And I don't think they want to invest the time in that right now. I think they're rolling with too many other things. But yeah, her grip training is on point. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can't believe some of that stuff. She's outdoing a lot of the men even. So
yeah.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these records will be hers. Nice. All right. Let's see here. What was the neatest one that I'd seen? This was probably a couple weeks ago now. Did you catch Nathaniel Day's headstand wrench bend?
I think so. I think I did.
Okay, that was impressive. That's one I hadn't seen before. A guy take the headstand position and then bend the crescent wrench while doing it. So that was awesome.
Right.
Good for him. I like seeing those those type of feats.
Oh, he's a creative dude.
Completely new level. Yep, no doubt about it. Yeah, that was awesome. Let's see. We had some new crusher records show up, didn't we? Or some not necessarily records, but some guys climbed up the list. What was it? Ode Haugen hit a big one, and was did Eirik too?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Andrew Pankey posted a couple of changes in the record boards. And I see that Ode is also has been streaming quite a few live videos recently. I know on Friday they had a training session for a mock comp or something like that, and it was. I remember seeing some silver bullet and also some Saxon bar lifts. And I believe afterwards they ended up working on the Country Crush. Don't know what size. And also the Raptor grip, which is something that Raymond Cody put out. It's I believe it's kind of like Rolling Thunder in that it's a one-hand lift with his rolling handles, and I believe it's called a Raptor grip.
Isn't that a conical type handle too?
That's very possible. Yeah, you may be right. You might be right.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We'll get to see some numbers on that. I thought I'd seen something come through. I don't know who it was, but I thought there was some new, at least some people going for some of those Country Crush records recently. I don't recall any specifics. The site wasn't wasn't very user friendly for me from my phone anyway, trying to navigate it. But it just looked like that was starting to see some attention again.
Yeah, and what I grabbed, I just have the images that Andrew put up. So I know that, and what I have, I don't have the text that Andrew put up, but right now the leader on the 4-inch crush is Håkan Karlsson. So that's a new, that's 132 pounds of the 4-inch crusher, which, I mean, that sounds like a really massive number right there. I don't think I've ever pulled the 4-inch crusher. I think I held it in my hand one time at Christmas, but I don't think it was up to it. So I don't think I pulled on it, but I believe that was one of the things that was out. And then, Ode got 201.8 pounds on the 2.5 crusher. And then you had mentioned I get to 205.25 on the crusher. And, of course, 2.5-inch crusher. And, of course, the world record pull currently is Igor Kopinski with 224 pounds and change on the 2.5-inch crusher. Absolutely massive. Absolutely.
Right. Cool. Well, I see Big Iric just got added to the thumbless inch lift list too.
Yeah.
That was something that David Horn had recently posted. So.
Well, did you see the post? Did you see the post that I put up about his future with grip?
No, I must have. Was that on Instagram?
Yeah, he put it up on Instagram, and he said that he's going to be continuing to train it, stuff here and there, but he's going to really decrease the amount of competitions that he goes to. He's basically been bouncing from one competition to the next for like the last, I think, 3 years, he said. Instead, I'm gonna focus on like the 100-meter dash. And I was like, dude, that is hilarious.
That is hilarious.
That is absolutely hilarious. And he's like, no, dude, I'm serious. That's what I'm going to work on. So he's actually going to transition, big time into a completely separate sporting endeavor for a while and work on getting his body weight down. I think he said his target is like 200 to 210 pounds or something like that. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that's definitely a different direction. But all right, whatever he goes for. Well, good luck to him with that. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? We all know this. Grip is very neural, and I don't think it's influenced nearly as much by body weight fluctuations. So as long as he does it in a way that's moderate, I bet we don't see too much of a decrease, especially for, things like his crusher, his grippers, inch lifts, block weights, stuff like that. I bet he stays very strong on. We may see a decrease in things like his big axle lifts, things along those lines. But, I mean, if that's accompanied by, sub 10-second 100-meter sprints, then I'm sure he's not going to be too upset about it. So it'll be interesting to watch. I hope he continues to chronicle and put up posts like he has for grip while he's going into this sprinting mode.
Right. Well, a kind of a transition for him there. Maybe a couple of 100-meter inch dumbbell farmer's walks. That might make him feel even lighter when it comes time for the dash. So that would be a good ease into it. Yeah. I'd work on that, I reckon. Give it a shot.
Good idea.
So, all right. Well, yeah, on the subject
what? Go ahead. Yeah, on the subject you said.
Oh, it looked like Brian Hunsacker's inch dumbbell finally showed up.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep,
and he
gave it a
short
pull.
work of it.
Yep, he did not disappoint. So, and I think he'll get it. It looked like he had no trouble with the right hand at all, and the left hand just wasn't cooperating. But that'll be right around the corner for him. So,
yeah.
So, nice. His training paid off with that weird little kind of car axle looking thing that he had anyway. So, cool.
Oh, that was ugly, but it looked cool though. That would be something that would be neat to have in your collection, right?
Right. Yep. Definitely one of a kind item there. So,
One of the coolest things I've ever seen was at Paul Knight's house the last time I was there, and it was the end of the thing. It was one of the grinding devices that actually bores the holes through the ground in the mining industry, in the natural gas mining industry.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks just like a block weight, and it was all worn down. And he goes, "Take a guess at how much those cost when they're brand new." And I said like $1,000, and he said they're like $5,000 when they're brand new. So I meant to get a picture when we got back, but I never ended up going into the house, so I couldn't do it. But hopefully next time I'm there, I'm able to get a picture. It looks really cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat to see. Yeah, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something he picks up and plays with, or?
I don't think so. It sits in his living room, and I don't know how heavy that thing is. So
I see.
Yeah. So here's another little excerpt from the bio that was sent in, and it says, "I found grip because in late December 2016 I blew out my LCL while climbing. I needed a way to keep my hands strong, and I remembered that my parents had bought me a COC hand gripper a while back that I never used. I fished it out of a drawer and gave it a squeeze. The thing was a brick. I turned it over and saw it said number 4. Ha ha ha. My parents bought me a number 4 because they didn't know anything about grip and were like, so-and-so is strong. Let's get the hardest one. Anyways, I bought some more grippers and went online to learn how to use them. I figured there must be other people who care about hand strength, and sure enough, I found the grip board. I've only done 2 competitions. Aaron's Cactus Grip Shootout in North American Grip Sport 2017, but I am psyched on grip, and I can't wait to keep getting stronger and meeting cool people in the community. So I wonder if everybody can guess who we're talking about just yet. Can you guess who this is, Alan? Do you know who this mystery man is that sent in a bio?
I do. I have a real good idea. Yep. We gonna save him, let him do his own introduction, or are we gonna spoil it?
Well, I don't know. Did I hear him? Did I hear him connect with us, or was that something else? I'm not sure.
I haven't heard the chime yet. So.
Okay. So mystery guest, are you on? Say yes or no.
There we
go. Ooh, I just heard something. I thought I heard it earlier, but I was mistaken. So, as I said, we're going to have a mystery guest today. I've already read the excerpts from his bio. He went into very good detail. He actually slipped his name in there, but I was very, very quick. He tried to slip it past me just like he tried to slip the scope in my eye range out to Texas, and he was brutally blocked and actually turned it around on him, and I broke the scope. And the guest that we have this year is the overall winner at North American Grip Sport Championship 2017. It is the Tanner Merkl. So let's give this guy a hand. Tanner, what's up, dude?
Not a lot, man. How you doing?
Good. We got Alan on the call. He knew he was able to figure out who we were talking to, and hopefully more people were able to figure it out as well. So thanks for joining us this afternoon, buddy.
Yeah, most definitely. Good to be on.
Yeah, how's it going, Tanner?
Hey, Alan. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Good to have you on. Looking forward to hearing what you got to say about this stuff. So.
Yeah. Sorry you couldn't be down there at Grip Nationals. I was looking forward to seeing you.
Oh yeah, boy, it would have been nice to see you go to work. Anybody that can reach down and pick up the inch dumbbell when it weighs just as much as they do, that's impressive stuff. So
oh man,
good for you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So tell us about what you do. What exactly is a respiratory therapist, Tanner? I think I've heard about it, but I don't know exactly.
So the most basic way, I guess, to kind of explain it, it's just like nursing, but just for like the heart and lungs. So anyone like in the ICU that's on a ventilator or has bad asthma, bad COPD, I kind of go in and change the setting on the ventilators and make sure they're breathing okay. And mostly I work down in the ER though, so people that come in all smashed up, just drop a breathing tube in them and send them on their way.
Right. Right. Now, is that what kind of schooling does that require? Is that like a 2-year, or 4 years?
It's the same as nursing. You can start with your 2-year, and then when you're in school, the hospital helps you work towards your bachelor's. So I'm doing that right now.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How long have you been working in the actual hospital?
A year and a half now. So I'm 25. So kind of just started, but I'm still on the night shift. So I actually just woke up. So if you hear me yawn, forgive me.
All right. So is that like where they put all the scrubs, or what is that?
Yeah,
is that like your intro period?
You kind of gotta earn your way on the days. It's like a seniority thing. So it's funny. You just got a bunch of kids out of school working the night shift. Pray that the patients make it to the day.
Yeah. Is that anything like what you do, Alan? You do anything along those lines?
No. I'm heating and air conditioning, so completely different end. And I get to work during the day for the most part, unless I'm on call. So
basically the same
that
thing.
works out pretty good for me. Yeah.
But in a way, people's respiratory health is up to you, right? Because you could go and you could put like cayenne pepper into those machines and blow that into everybody's like nasal passageways and lungs and stuff like that, and cause people a lot of problems, right?
Yeah, that's just job security. keep them there a little longer, keep the paycheck coming.
Yeah. Cool, man. So what do you think, Tanner? What have you seen this past? I've been laid up in bed for the whole entire week. I don't even know what's going on this last week. What would you say was like what was the biggest grip feat you saw this week on your end, Tanner?
There's a couple cool things. I've been looking forward to seeing Brian Hunsacker get a hold of that inch dumbbell, and it looks like it made his way out to him, and he made quick work of it. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah,
dude, that was no problem for him at all.
No, I didn't imagine it would be, but it was cool to see it on film. Let's see what else I got. Oh, did you see my friend Adam do the thumbless lift of the inch dumbbell?
Yes, sir. That was on my list to talk about. Very, very impressive stuff. Now, what's his deal?
Nice.
What's his story?
So, kind of, my friend Michael Hain, you might remember him. He used to do some grip sport a little while ago, and he's
Absolutely
really, really good at arm wrestling. So I actually went to high school with him, and kind of reached out to him to figure out, where you train grip, where you train arm wrestling, and he brought me out to Adam's place, and I kind of been arm wrestling with them a little bit. And Adams, I mean, you've seen the video. He's a big dude, and he is really strong. He actually just won the Texas left-hand, I believe it's the left-hand arm wrestling championship. So, I mean, dude has some real deal wrist strength. It's funny whenever I'm arm wrestling with him, he'll get me in the hook, and he'll just let me just practice. I mean, if he wanted to, he'd smash me. He goes, now you got to hook me. You got to turn my hand up. He's like, you're not trying. It's like, dude, I'm trying. It's like you're just that strong. I mean, it's funny. I went over there and I didn't know much about what the inch was. He had one, and so we were trying to pick that up and stuff, and he lifted it thumbless, and I didn't know that was such a feat. And then I was talking to you about it a while back, and you said there weren't a lot of people that had done it, and I told Adam, I was like, dude, I need to get this on film, because I mean, there's not a lot of people that can do this.
Right.
Yeah.
True. So is that his place that you go to? Is that his garage or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on the kind of the countryside of Dallas. He's got this kind of barn he's built out there. So he holds like an arm wrestling practice every couple of weeks.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, man. So, Alan, what do you say? Should we give this guy the third degree and find out more about him?
Well, yeah. I'm actually anxious to hear. We always know the carryover that comes from climbing to grip sport and things like that. One thing I was curious about is exactly when people are talking about that, there's the guys out there, Daniel Reinhardt, Chris Rice. I think even Gil did some climbing, but I've always wondered, how much climbing does it take? It sounds like you've been doing this for over 10 years, Tanner. Is that right?
Yeah,
10, 12 years?
About 12 years now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what kind? When you're doing these sort of things, when you're doing climbing, how often does this happen, and how long when somebody goes out climbing, you're actually rock climbing. This is something, I guess I'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I started climbing when I was 13, just at like the gym. Here in Dallas, there's not a lot of rock outside, so we've got actually a fair amount of indoor rock climbing gyms. So these big facilities, they've got like training centers and just a whole bunch of walls, all different types of angles. So you can go in and get a pretty good workout, if you're just doing some accessory work upstairs or downstairs. So I started doing that. I'd say I trained inside, especially when I was in school, like, middle school, high school. I'd climb about 4 days a week or so, sometimes a little bit more. And then as I got older, I kind of backed off a little bit. But really it was that high volume, I think, inside that gets you strong pretty quick, because when you go climb outside, the rock is sharp. It cuts you up. You can't do quite as much volume. So it's kind of funny when you look at a lot of the strongest climbers that are out there right now. There's actually a fair amount from Texas. There's a girl named Alex Puccio who's one of the strongest boulderers, female or male, like in the world, and she's actually from Dallas. So it's kind of funny. There's no rock here, but we produce these really strong rock climbers. But as of like now, it's been 12 years. I'm not quite as just singularly focused on climbing like I used to be, but it's still definitely a good kind of accessory thing, especially now that I'm doing grip. I kind of find if my hands or wrists are hurting a little bit and I go climb, it kind of just gives you a little bit different angles and pulling on your fingers different, and I wake up feeling better. So I'm still doing it a fair amount.
That's cool.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like the training. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just curious. When you're doing this, how long are you there? Do you spend at these climbing gyms when you're doing this?
Yeah. I would say about 2 to 3 hours, but what it is it kind of turns into social hour more than anything, because that's where my friend group is. So we climb a little bit and then just kind of sit there and talk, but it kind of works out because you end up having big long rest periods. So it's almost like the style of training would be like how you would in sometimes powerlifting or anything that's like really high intensity, sometimes low volume on if I'm just not doing a lot of climbing, but something really hard, like we're working on a hard climb that none of us can do, and I'll give it an attempt, rest for like 10 minutes, just talking, give it another attempt. And I find that, climbing training, I'm there for a long time, sometimes most of the day. And I think that's been pretty beneficial. Some of the training styles I do there seem to be similar to how people have been training grip. One of the kind of, I guess, the best training program I did in climbing was every Monday and Friday I'd just grab these wooden rungs and just do one-arm hangs on them for 5 to 8 seconds. And then, that was just my high-intensity day. And then on Wednesdays, I'd just do really high volume. On the weekend, I'd just play around with friends. And it kind of seems like people do that with grip, too, like a high-intensity day and then a high-volume day. So I don't know. It seems like it's translated fairly well to at least open-handed fingertip-type stuff for me in grip sport.
No, that's an understatement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say it worked okay. It was okay. It was okay for you. You might have wanted to change a few things up, but it has been okay.
Maybe next time.
What do you do for your thumb training aside from like the blob air transfer we saw out of you recently? What do you do to hit that?
Well, I think it's also kind of a good point. I saw Chris Rice made mention of this in one of the recent really long forums people have been talking about with, I don't know if it was the deadlift or the future of grip sport, whatever, but he was talking about when climbers get into the sport, they have fairly strong fingers and open hand strength, but they just are severely lacking in thumb power. So as far as what I do for thumbs, I just started, grip here in January, so my thumb is definitely my weakest link. As you can see, in my two-hand pinch, like my two-hand pinch is like kind of pathetic. I really can't. I feel like kind of a beginner in that lift. I grab a thick bar, it feels kind of natural. The blobs, because I have fairly big hands, the blobs feel kind of natural to me. So I think in that wide position, my thumb is fairly strong, but when it kind of comes in narrow like that, like especially on the flask and something like that, I still have a ways to go. So I don't think I have this particular way of training thumbs, but I probably should.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
I'm sure
right.
that's something that you'll figure out, though, with more experience. And,
yeah, definitely.
If there's anything I can do to steer you in the wrong direction, just let me know. I'm happy to send you down the primrose path, brother. You do need work in your scope game, though. It's really not that good.
It really isn't. It's sad, man. I really thought I was going to get you down in Texas a while back, and like you said, you're still the reigning champ. What was the county you said a while back? You were talking about in kindergarten you're the reigning champ, then you're the reigning champ, and then you made a big declaration about your scope game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they don't even use the elementary school anymore for school. They did the thing where they take all the school now, and now they send everybody to like just one big school. The consolidation factor, and the plaque, the building. Some of it has been knocked down. The other part is like used for storage of cars. Like one big entrepreneur in the area bought it, but the plaque is still there in the gym. The Scope Championship from 1987.
Are you serious, for real?
Yeah, Scope Championship. Yeah, why would they joke about that, bro? Yeah, it's still up. Yeah. How are you going to take it, dude? It's like it's built into the wall. They built a new wing of the building because they were going to hang all the Scope Championships up every year. So it's part of the building now. Dude,
well, there's no denying it. I don't know how you move that fast at your size. It's scary.
Type 2 muscle fibers, bro. Type 2. It's all type 2. But enough about me and my amazing scope kills. How do you balance out the climbing with the grip now, man? What do you do during the week? Like, what's your week look like? A general week for you?
I'm pretty much like, really, I kind of hate to say it because grip sport takes me, cool places, get to meet cool people, but climbing takes you to cool outside places, spending time in nature. So I would like to keep my my strength and my emphasis split between the two, and I kind of haven't. Like, really, I'm climbing maybe 3 times a month, and I'd like to get it more at least once a week. But I would say, I guess, if I'm doing it once a week, I just sort of go by feel. Whenever I'm feeling recovered and go climb, but I try not to do it too intense. You probably kind of feel the same boat as me. I've been doing this for 12 years now, so I can take a big break from climbing and go back to it. And as long as I'm still like around the same weight and I've got that good strength to weight ratio, I kind of climb the same. Probably for you, you can take a break from grip and then come back to it and lift the inch dumbbell just the same as you ever could. So I don't know. I'm definitely only doing it probably once a week now, and probably should be doing it a little more, but it's kind of taking a back seat for the moment because I'm so psyched on grip.
Yeah. Well, it's cool that you're so excited about grip. I remember you talked about your knee injury when I was down to Texas, and you highlighted that in your bio. Is that something that's keeping you from climbing? Like, you're afraid that that's going to get re-injured, or maybe it's not fully healed at this point? Or
it was at first because I did it in late December, and it didn't start feeling better until probably like March or so. So I mean it was pretty bad, and I had a hard time walking on it. Couldn't do really much with it at all. And then now that I've been going back to the climbing gym, it feels okay. It doesn't feel bad or anything, but it's more just sort of the fact that I've been out of climbing for a few months, just doing grip and kind of waiting for my knee to heal. Now I've just sort of transitioned into the grip thing. So every 4 years or so, I seem to take a year off of climbing and do something else because it's kind of hard to stay focused on just one thing all the time, going 100 miles an hour. So, I think that's healthy, just kind of split your interests up.
Sure. Now, dude, when I saw you in Texas, you told the story of the knee injury. I was wondering, my last question here, and then I'll turn it back over to Alan for a few, is could you tell us about when the injury took place because
man.
the story was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. So, I mean, it's easier to explain it in person, but in climbing we have a move called a heel hook. So the idea is you want to always kind of keep your hips close to the climbing wall so that you're not actively, like, falling out. So a good way to do that is if there's kind of a little hold that has a little kind of a cup feature, you'll put the outside part of your heel on the hold, and then you'll start to bend your knee down so that your hip is getting closer to the wall. But that puts, like, tremendous pressure on your LCL. And so I was really cranking on that, and I was basically sitting on my heel. Like, my heel was, like, up at, like, near my groin. I was just sitting on the back of it, and then I felt my knee. I mean, I went from no pain, and all of a sudden I heard a loud crunch, like you bit into, like, a Cheeto or something. It goes, and I just immediately, like, fell off the wall. I felt my knee, like, lose its integrity and just, like, slip out of place, you know. And I was laying on the ground, and my friend is a PT, and she had just happened to be there. So she kind of helped me up, and she goes, "Did you punch the wall?" And I was like, "No, man, I didn't punch the wall." I was like, "That was my knee. I think I just ripped all the, you know, connective tissue in there." And she kind of manipulated my knee, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, chances are you probably tore your LCL." She goes, "You're going to need to have an MRI." But, I mean, she'd seen enough of them. She kind of manipulated it, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, you should probably go see a doctor."
That is crazy.
It was pretty gross, and I don't wish that on anyone because it is a nasty feeling. I get chill bumps even, like, talking about it now. It was so just, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I did something similar one time playing basketball. I don't remember it hurting. When I got out of the car, we stopped after the basketball game and went to Subway, and I naturally got a nice healthy salad. I wasn't tempted by any of the other unhealthy food in there and all the bread. But when I was walking, I was like, what is going on with my knee? It was my left knee, and it felt like my what is it, the fibula that's on the outside of the knee, the smaller bone. Whatever, yeah. So it was like loose. I could feel it moving in my leg. And I was like, dude, you're going to have to help me into that store. So I had to have my hand on his shoulder and stuff. We got the nice healthy salads with chicken breast, and then he took me back to wherever my car was. The next day at work, I'm telling somebody about this. I'm like, man, my knee is just killing me. And I went and I pushed on my lower leg, and I actually pushed my lower leg forward and snapped that bone back in. It was out the whole night. It was dislocated the whole night. And, and then since then I haven't had too many problems with it. But it's crazy how you know, when you say that you lost, like, the continuity in your knee, like, everything just kind of started to fall apart in there, that's exactly the feeling I had for, like, overnight and into the morning. So, so that's cool. Well, I definitely, dude, I definitely hope that is healed up and it doesn't get in your way anytime soon, especially when you're actually up on an actual rock face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. You don't want it to give way then. It's feeling better, so feeling optimistic about it.
Good. Turn it back over to you, Alan.
Did you have to have a surgery, Tanner, to correct that, or what was the...
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm the worst about this. It's terrible, but I've actually busted a few ligaments in like my finger, my back, my knee, and, you know, I talked to my friend about it, the PT, kind of at length, and she was like, look, what the doctor's going to tell you is to rest for 7 weeks until the inflammation goes down, and then, you know, we're going to get an MRI. Then they're going to decide if it's surgery or not. And I was a classic kind of went online and looked up too many stories of too many people having successful rehabs on their own. And, you know, it was at the end of the year, so I couldn't get into a doctor. I tried, and, you know, everyone has already met their deductible, so everyone's trying to get into the doctor. And it ended up just being such a long wait, and it started feeling better on its own. And I was like, well, I never ended up getting into the doctor, and it's starting to feel a little better. And so I actually never went in, and probably should have, but, you know, I'm one of those unfortunate kind of people that just doesn't like to go to the doctor because it costs money.
Right. Hey, I'm right there too, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay.
Always try to rehab this stuff myself.
I was just curious what that was. I had torn it wasn't the LCL. I had blown my ACL once upon a time, and I had ACL reconstruction done and everything. So I was just curious what yours entailed. But good, if you're back to normal without it, then that's a good way. So
yeah,
good
right.
for you. All right. I was under the impression that not to keep beating on this, but I thought you had fallen and injured your knee that way. I didn't realize you were mid climb and actually did it while
pressed it right out of
climbing.
place.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, never heard of that. Oh, all right. Oh. Well, so how do you think your grip training is taking you with any of your climbing? Do you think you see carry over the other way at all? We see a lot of interesting things out of you. Little bighorn one arm chin ups and stuff.
Yeah, the funny thing is,
out?
I think I'm getting. This is also kind of funny. He made another post about this. Actually, another Chris Rice thing he mentioned was I don't really feel that climbing. Let's see how to put it. Like grip sport doesn't detract from climbing. I think that the two actually complement each other in training all of the different angles and keeping your wrist healthy, your elbows healthy. But it's hard to do them both 100%. It's almost like, I would say a good way to put it is maybe if you were a football player but you wanted to do powerlifting at the same time that you were doing your football training, and saying, okay, well, you got to only hit the big three lifts. You got to train those 100%, but then at the same time, you're also doing 2-a-days in football, and it's kind of like you can't really balance the two super well. So in climbing, I need to be doing that, 4 or 5 times a week to be at my best. And with grip, there's no way to recover to keep that high volume. So I've actually been putting on a little bit of weight, trying to deadlift a little bit better, which obviously everyone knows now I still cannot. But so I put on a little bit of weight, and I just don't really train the one-arm pull-up and all the fingertip stuff like I used to. So my climbing's probably gone down a little bit, but, all that would take is for me to drop a couple pounds and get back at it more than, once a week or so. But
sure.
I think that,
Okay.
the two are definitely complementary in a sense for keeping you healthy,
Right. Well, now you're throwing some arm wrestling into the works. Is this just a fun thing you're playing with once in a while, or are you planning to step into it like what we've seen with Luke Raymond?
Yeah, the thing with it is like it's pretty hard. I mean, like your connective tissue and like in your elbow, like you'll be sore for a good while. I try to not do a whole lot and just kind of listen to my body, and if I feel anything start to get kind of sensitive, just call it quits. But it's just pretty addicting. It's like, kind of like the whole bending thing. Sometimes it's hard to balance bending and grip, and it's like, arm wrestling is just so fun. It's difficult to tell myself, you need to back off if you want to be training grip. I'll find myself if I do arm wrestling, and then the next day or next couple of days want to do some gripper training. When I go to set the gripper, I've got a little bit of like elbow tendonitis. And it's like, don't really want to overdo it. And so I don't know. I don't think I'll really put a whole lot of emphasis on it, but it's just a fun thing to do occasionally, at least for now.
Sure.
Well,
okay.
you brought up
the
bending. You brought up the bending too, Tanner. When did you start doing that? I wasn't even aware that you were bending, and you're already smoking red nails.
Yeah, I haven't been bending. That was actually my first time trying the red nail. Actually, I take it. Beautiful. I take it back. After nationals, we all went over to Gills and tried a couple of his, and it felt impossible. But we were all so fatigued after that. So I just assumed that it would be, that I couldn't do it. But I'd ordered a fair amount of stock, so I just had some, and I probably only bent like maybe 8 or 10 sessions, but that was the first time I really gave it an actual try. And I guess once I kind of got the positioning figured out a little better for the double overhand, it went okay. So it's pretty fun. I want to keep at it, but it's just kind of hard to balance that and grip,
Sure. Yeah, it definitely can be. Well, if you just go ahead and get the red nail cert out of the way, and then like the next 48 hours, man, you won't really have to worry about it too much.
It's so painful in the Ironman pads, though. I gave it a try, and I mean, that was purely just pain tolerance. I just you really got to just bite down and push through it. I mean, it'll like bruise your thumb and everything. I mean, there's definitely a whole world of bending that's definitely kind of a rabbit hole in itself.
Yeah. So what did we miss? Paul and I jumped in the car. We got our asses up to Cincinnati as fast as we could because literally, dude, I felt horrible, and Paul was about ready to pass out. What all went down at Gills after Nationals that maybe didn't get filmed or whatever?
Let's see. It's almost like, dehydrated and hungry, and we went over there. It's like I'm trying to remember. It's kind of fuzzy. We went down there, and we were all so gassed, really. I don't think we accomplished a whole lot. I tried to lift Gil's 120 hex and got it off the ground a few inches, and it was, just couldn't make it happen, but kind of no surprise after all the stuff we've been playing around with at the gym. None of us were able to lift the 120. He had some globs, too, we played with, and I think he had half of one of the 70 globs that Phil Koshaba has the other half, so we were able to lift that. We got to see a little bit of bending out of the retired Aaron. He said I'd be able to talk him into some bending because the grip wasn't going for me down there or anyone really. We were all gassed out. And I was like, you want to do a little bit of bending? He's like, I might be able to be talked into it. So got to see a few rare bends from him. He said he hadn't bent anything in 5 years. Yeah,
he's a good bender. He was one of the best, and he knows his way around bending. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you try the Blobzilla while you were down there at all?
Oh, okay, yeah. So when we were at the Southern Squeeze, I'd asked Gil if he brought it down to the gym to give it a try, and he's like, oh no, it's back at the house. And later on after the comp, we all went and got some margaritas and some Mexican food, and he's like, all right, anyone that wants to come back, you can. And I was like, you have Blobzilla at the house? He's like, yeah. So went out and gave that a try, and just absolutely no way. I would love to give it a go fresh because, put my hand on that thing and lift it, and it was just stuck. But it felt pretty good. The thing, like the spread is most definitely, that's like a hand-size thing for some people, just probably won't be able to lift Blobzilla because of how round it is. Like you really have to be able to spread across that. But it felt okay in my hand. I'd just like to give it a try one day, feeling a little bit fresh, not after hours of competition.
Sure, yeah, no doubt. I tried it the other day and couldn't lift it. I was too spent at the end of the workout, so I actually have to put a couple sessions in order to get it.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to and you may have been asked this before, and it might be one of those questions where it's like, oh, God, I'm getting asked this again. But do you have any plans, being that you are so athletic and come from the climbing background, to give like Ninja Warrior stuff a try at all?
Yeah, so with Ninja Warrior, Isaac Caldiero, I don't know if you know him, he the rock climber that won American Ninja Warrior and, got the $1 million or whatever, and he's just a standard climber, bro. He's a strong guy, but he made it happen, and kind of prompted a lot of other climbers like myself to want to get into it. But kind of the thing is you have to have a good story to send to them because they want something either sappy or something real interesting to kind of pitch for the show, to be like, all right, here's so and so, they've got X, Y, and Z going on for them, and here they go. So I've tried to I've never really pushed for it, but I thought maybe I could swing the whole living in my van for a while angle, and that's kind of interesting. Maybe I could throw the grip support thing in there now too. Maybe that'd be interesting for them, but I'd like to do it one day,
Yeah, that would be cool. Have you ever tried, have you ever gotten on any of the implements? Are there any Ninja Warrior gyms down there to give it a try?
Yeah, there actually are some Ninja Warrior gyms down here, and I've just never gone, which I don't know why. I should go. It's been on my list of things to do, but no, I haven't given it a go yet.
That's cool. I hope you give it a try, and if there's anything that I can do as far as if you need like an internet troll to hound you and make posts on your videos and stuff, and make outrageous claims about you in order to bring up the story aspect, you count me in, brother.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that.
You could just talk about how bad of a scope player you are, and say that I'm trying to work on that, and feel that Ninja Warrior is going to help your skills.
Yeah, kind of like
maybe.
a pity thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Pity. Yes, because that's what we all have on you for your pathetic scoping skills.
I like where you're going.
Yeah, think about it, dude. That might be the angle you need. What else? What other info do we need to extract from this guy, Alan? How can we benefit ourselves from talking to this guy just a little bit more? What do you think?
Well, so what grip specific goals do you have, Tanner? You've already nailed a ton of stuff. You planning on going after a capital crush certification or serving a red nail? What's on the horizon?
Yeah, I'd like to do. I'd like to certify on the number 3. That's definitely a goal. There's just some of those certs like the crush to dust. I'd like to do that, and the red nail. Really, lots of the certifications. I've still only done the MM0, so I'd like to do the MM1 and climb that ladder a little bit. But I'm really not very good at grippers. I think more than anything, I'm just really even with grippers because I've never closed over a 165, and none of my grippers they kind of take a big jump. I need to get a whole bunch of mine rated to kind of get a better idea of where I'm at. So I think I've got a ways to go, but my wide set, or like what I can close wide and what I can close like parallel, like Mash Monster set, is kind of similar. So I think that might benefit me towards a cert later on down the road. But that's definitely probably the number one thing is getting that number 3 done.
Cool. Nice. Okay. So are we gonna see you at SJ4? Any plans for that at all?
Despite Nick's berating me in the direct messages, I won't be attending. I've got a friend's wedding actually the weekend before, so and that's in New Hampshire. So it's like I could go to New Hampshire, but then there'd be a whole week in between that and SJ4 where I'd have to come back to Dallas, then take more time off work and go to SJ4. So I'm just like so torn up about it because it's going to be so huge. I mean, I would love to be out there, but it's just not feasible with work and the wedding and everything, which kind of sucks because, pretty, I guess it's the biggest grip comp ever, huh?
Well, it is. Your friend can't reschedule that wedding or anything?
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. Maybe he'll come out. It's actually my friend that did the one arm on the tips tester, my friend Addison. So maybe I can swing him into doing the wedding before SJ4, just right outside the venue.
Well, how much actual presence is required from the certified, board certified individual on this respiratory therapy? I mean, could your friend that's getting married possibly fly to Texas and dress like you, and maybe you could give him your ID to key into the hospital and things like that and hit the buttons every so often? I mean, can he maybe do that, and then that way you're covered? And
the change in ethnicity shouldn't throw anyone for a loop. I don't think so. I think that'll work. Yeah,
I think it would be fine. Most people don't really look at the security footage unless there's a problem. So as long as he doesn't mess up anything, as long as he makes sure that the paperwork is done, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, you should be all right. So we'll see you in New Jersey, bro.
It's a good thing I didn't say I was going, though, because I get such a laugh out of how Nick just publicly berates people on his post for when they're backing out despite the bearing and act of God.
Yeah.
It kills me, man.
Well, something, then maybe we'll see you there. But otherwise, you're missing out. Yeah, dude. I've been doing this a long time. The biggest contest that I was ever at was up in Minnesota, way back in 2004. It was 23 people there. I think that was the biggest one I was ever at. And I mean, they're well over 50 already confirmed. And I know that there's more people. There's a guy named Storm Chelino who's never been to a grip contest before, but he lifted the gold Living Legends inch thumbless the first time he crossed paths with it. And it all depends on like certain factors with his work, and he may end up going. So
wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see Eric Bruin lifted the inch thumbless also?
Yes. Yeah. I think did we talk about that, Alan?
We did. Yep.
Yeah.
And there was actually, while we're talking about that, there was one more thumbless inch lift just now. Did you see that one?
Not sure. Who was it?
Jesse, I'm going to butcher the last name. Pinonen?
Oh, Pinonen. Yeah. Yep.
You saw that?
I guess I missed that one. No, when was that?
It was just like right before I got on the call. I refreshed the This Week in Grip hashtag on Instagram, and I saw that, and he did a double blob 50 lift, and then I think he cleaned the Silarukov blob, so it pretty much just dominated all the blobs and and thumbless.
That's called taking care of business. Wow.
Yeah, he sure
awesome.
did. I looked at that and I was like, oh my God. I kind of thought y'all might have already talked about that one, but didn't want to let that one slide if it was too recent for you to see. But pretty cool stuff over there.
Yeah, he referred to it.
Where is he from?
I don't know.
He talked about it being the Grip Monsters inch, I thought. I didn't know if he had some affiliation with UHA.
Maybe so.
I could be wrong about
possible.
that, but I thought he said something about that. So, but then there was the Silarukov blob too, so I guess that doesn't necessarily fit unless UHA had picked up some of those. So I guess I don't totally know. I might be a little off there. But it was an 80-kilogram bell, and I think UHA's are 78, are they not? I don't remember. Yeah. I'll have to double check that. But I had caught that just before we jumped on the call. So yeah, that was nice. He doesn't have a lot of followers, that guy, yet, but I think he'll be getting some attention. So,
yeah, well, that'll change here in a little bit.
Yeah. So
cool. Well, I like to see that you're as obsessed about it as we are, Tanner, that you're hitting the refresh on the tags. That's what I like to see, dude. That's what it takes, man. I'm serious.
You know what's even more sad, though, is sometimes I'll sit at on my off days, or really even at work if I'm bored or something, I'll have my browser with your YouTube page open. That there's not a This Week in Grip uploaded yet. Refresh. 10 minutes later, there should be a This Week in Grip uploaded by now. Refresh. I don't remember who posted this, but it's like I don't remember who. This is like Christmas morning, It really is. I'm like, oh yeah, like an hour and something of talking about grip. It's pretty cool. So I like that y'all been doing this every week. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah, man. It's fun doing it, and I really do wish that we would have done it when I was on the way back from Ohio, Alan. I think that would have been cool. I wish we would have done it.
I had a similar thought too. I thought something semi-live like that, maybe that would be good to iron out. Even after like an SJ4 thing, we'll have to work out a couple of wrinkles and see what we can figure out. But it'd be neat to do almost a more of a live thing or something real time right after a competition sort of deal would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. See, that's another thing you're going to miss now, Tanner, because we're going to do a live This Week in Grip shortly after or possibly even during South Jersey 4. And
that'd be cool. Just have a bunch of goons run up and shout their opinion on the phone while you're talking.
Yeah, 55 people coming from everywhere in the world to go to South Jersey 4, and Tanner can't be bothered. Huh. Interesting.
Well, you might see me there. Who knows?
All right.
Well, hey,
cool, man.
Do the look for like a movie quote or a movie thing for like grip related stuff?
Yeah.
So my brother sent me something. Now it's not from a movie, but it's from the book Beowulf. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I know Beowulf. I remember from 9th grade English. I also remember that I prepared a very, very intelligently laid out video presentation that year about why wrestling's not all fake. But go ahead with your Beowulf story.
Okay. So, oh my God. All right. So Grendel, the evil monster in Beowulf. So there's this quote. My brother just kind of sent it to me. He said, here's a quote from the book. It says, "The captain of evil discovered himself in a hand grip harder than anything he'd ever encountered in any man on the face of the earth. Every bone in his body quailed and recoiled, but he could not escape. He was desperate to flee his den and hide with the devil's litter, for in all his days he had never been clamped or cornered like this. And that's, when Beowulf was clamped down on Grendel during their fight. So I was like, hey, that's a pretty good grip-related quote.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. I forgot about that. Yeah, Beowulf, dude, that's like an epic. That's like an epic poem? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that one of those? Yeah.
Mhm.
Or was that the Odyssey? Was that an Odysseus that was an epic? I don't know. I can't remember. I guess I'm getting them confused, maybe.
Yeah. We got to go back and read it though, because I guess he'd found that quote and sent it to me. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Beowulf was known for his hand strength.
Yeah, well, I never gave any of my textbooks back, man. They're my books, as far as I'm concerned. My parents paid the taxes on those books. I've got them all. They're downstairs,
right.
So I'll just go down and look for them. Yeah, absolutely. Sweet. What do you got? What else you got for this guy, Alan? Anything else or no?
No, I don't have anything else. I think we covered a lot. Got a lot of good information out of him. So.
Yeah, man, for sure. Thanks for coming on today, buddy.
Yeah, most definitely. Hopefully, I'll see you around soon. I mean, if not at SJ4, maybe at the next one. Maybe like a King Kong or something.
Yeah, what have you got plans for King Kong? Do you want to come out to Pennsylvania for it?
Yeah, potentially. I know Gil's hosting one in Tennessee, so that would be more convenient for me. But I don't know. I haven't looked at prices to go out to Pennsylvania. I mean, I'd love to come out and see all the guys at your place, see what you have out there. So. Who knows?
Yeah.
I might look into it. I'll keep you posted.
Sounds good to me, buddy. If there's something I can do to make your traveling easier, go down and pick you up at the airport or whatever, happy to do it. So let's stay on that, okay?
All right, man. Good talking to you.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for coming on. Alan, the show's yours, brother.
Adios.
Okay. All right. Well, that is it for This Week in Grip, episode number 20. It was great having Tanner on. Looks like he just checked out. Everybody, don't forget the hashtag This Week in Grip. Make sure to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe and give us the thumbs up. Jed, this was another good one. I think we covered a lot of good feats this week. And that's it. We'll be back again next week with another one.